Hi kids, here again. We are again with Seeing the Evidence, Forensic Scientist work by Ron Fridell, Case 3. Place, Oklahoma, USA. Date, April the 19th, 1995. Crime, a federal building is blown up. Evidence, a truck's axle. The crime. The crime scene investigators sometimes have only a small apartment to search, but sometimes the crime scene is huge. In this case, the CSIs had several city blocks covering thousands of tons of rubble to search for clues that would lead them to a suspect. At 8 minutes past 9 on the morning of April the 19th, 1995, an explosion rocked downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. A truck carrying 5,000-pound bomb exploded, blowing away the front of the 9-story Murray Federal Building. The blast killed 168 people and injured more than 500. The bomber set off the blast by remote control and drove away. How the case was solved. After searching for days, investigators finally found a small piece of a truck's axle. The rear axle belonged to the truck that carried the bomb. The rear axle of every truck has a vehicle identification number, VIN, in the metal. This piece of axle had only part of the VIN, but it was enough to lead investigators to a truck rental office in Jackson City, Kansas. The clerk remembered renting the truck to a man named Robert King. The name was false, but the clerk remembered what the man looked like. A forensic artist made a sketch from the clerk's description, and the owner of a nearby motel recognized the face. The man had rented a room from him and had used the name Timothy McVeigh. Investigators ran the name through a national crime computer database and came up with a match. A man by that name was being held on a traffic and weapons charge in the Perry, Oklahoma jail and was about to be released. Investigators got there just in time. The Oklahoma City bomber was caught thanks in large part to the work of forensic investigators. Timothy McVeigh was later tried, convicted, and put to death for the bombing. Locar's exchange principle. Edward Henrich did his work in a crime lab, a room filled with scientific equipment used to help discover and study forensic evidence. The world's first crime lab was set up in 1910 in Lyons, France, by police detective Edmond Locard. Locard stated a guiding principle that today's forensic scientists still follow. He called it the exchange principle. Objects or surfaces that come into contact always exchange trace evidence. In other words, everyone who enters a crime scene takes away something from the scene and leaves something of themselves behind. Locard, you remember, was the detective who solved the 4 Mill murder case.